Hello, folks, and welcome back. The Valor Mortis, or Minotaur as the thing keeps calling it. I ended up cutting the last set, cracky hand, the last set into 2 episodes, because it ended up being nearly 2 hours in length. And the longer episodes do tend to have poor retention. So, then again, my Soul Ash 2 first video did incredibly well. It was like over 2 hours long, and it's gotten like 400 and something hours watched. But that's given that it's gotten over 2,000 views, and that would basically mean like 200 and some complete watches. Maybe a shorter one would have done better. It's just it all, it's just the whole algorithm base. You have to be somewhat conscious of it, if you don't want to get completely stifled by YouTube. It's just the reality of the bullshit. Heya, nice fog gate. Right in the nipple. There's some juddering here, and it's kind of kicking my ass. Damn it. Nota bene. I'll never do hitless runs. Or deathless runs. I may try and minimize how much damage I take from a boss. Damn it. But I'll never do a deathless run. I forgot he had that. But yeah, I'll never do a deathless run or a hitless run. I may minimize how many times I get hit by a boss with the goal of not getting hit at all for a phase. But that would be just to conserve healing supplies. Like when you see me playing Sekiro, I'll be trying to get through like a phase 1 of a boss without getting hit, because I know he's 2 more phases, and I need to min-max how much supplies I have. Okay. He does lose his previous spoils. I kind of forgot about them for the first phase. Then I noticed them again. I'm not used to his patterns here. There's a slight lag sometimes, I swear, when an attack's coming in. See, it feels like some frames are missing. If we're down on medium, I think it started off on TSR. The game's still nice enough on the lowered settings. Honestly, this actually feels notably better. Not sure. I had AMD stuff, so that's why I went with the other thing. Also, my gunshots do regenerate. Go. God damn it. Not really what I meant to do, but it's fun. Damn it. Focus drifted, but it seems like fire is more of an option. Excuse me. Does feel like fire is more of an option than I thought. I'm a little annoyed with this having a level 10 cap with no clear clarity that there is a level 10 cap, and then you can't adjust your skills afterwards. So the little mercy feature here is completely irrelevant unless you just rush your way down here. Yeah, big shot. does not damage posture. One downside to it. I think I'm going to change the thing I have. Like the mercy feature there, I have 10k souls, but I can't use them. So, Butcher's Carnage synergizes with Life Diverted. There's like clear synergies here between, say, Diluted Moment and Volatile End, but well, we're locked out of the second one, so we only get the first. So like this will be very useful, fully maxed out, this will be very useful in taking the enemy down. But I put everything into these two. So I'm just, restricted. Feel I didn't build right. So if I use this, Life Averted, then I will... The flasks will no longer heal me, but give me back mana, which I can then use damage from my spells, to fire, to heal me. Which I do find a very interesting idea. Now, this wounds that heals slowly, very slowly. You recover health. It may help you survive a hit in the entire fight, but it's not very potent. This gives you time to aim, which is handy. This has you heal from hitting, but your flasks are now worthless to you. Completely worthless. They just... You can't get healing from them. But without having this, you can't get mana from them either. The flasks just do nothing. And this makes the Shin weak points do bonus damage. A useful thing, certainly. Could give this a try. I'm curious to see how much health you get back. I am iffy on the idea of going without flasks at all, unless it's an exceptionally potent life leech. Ah, I didn't set it up right. Alright, kill me. I keep forgetting to actually hit the confirm button. Turn around. Yeah, there. My flasks are empty. I thought they were just going to stay full and be taunting. No, you know what? I like it. No, this is a sizable life leech. Now it's playing like I'm playing goddamn Sekiro. As in, you know, when you do the depots in Sekiro, you, with the right upgrade, get healing. Same here. So yeah, I'm happy. And it does reward an aggressive playstyle. Sometimes, like, you're down to the wire. You kind of just want to keep hitting the enemy. You don't want to back off, because backing off can give them the opening to kill you. But then attacking gives them the opening to kill you. So this gives you the chance to heal by hitting. The best of both worlds. Gives you protection, it lets you keep up the momentum of attacking, and heals you for it. Bopped him on the head with my sword. Come on. Ow. Yes, yes, very picturesque, very stoic looking. Ooh, that hurts. Okay then. Gunners. It's fine. We found something that works. We are getting the first phase down pretty well now. I'm finding this an interesting enough idea. I'm liking the game, certainly. I'm not sure. It's not quite grabbing me like. Like some games really wow me, and I you know, I dream about it. Making some mistakes here, but you know, I'm really excited to go back and play more. But very few games are like that. But I am liking it. I could certainly see me playing more of it in the future. But there's so many other Souls-likes to do. Let's see how much it heals. Sizable chunk, like a third of my bar. Respectable. I can see this being one I use a bit. Maybe making the flasks into mana potions. But yeah, basically, I like the game. I'm not sure if it's quite grabbing me and wooing me as much as I would like it to, but I am liking it. See limited charges of those. I actually like the gunners. They're easy enough to deal with. Messing that up. It just, the hand feels like it comes out too fast. Like, I almost don't feel it moving, you know? I see it moving, like... just on me all of a sudden. I live, I die, I live again. Rousey Uniform General. So, I wonder what Napoleon's stance on us is. Like, he's shouting in our ear. Is he is he on our side? Is he happy with us cutting these down? Or is this, is this, that, is that? Then again, in the thing leading up to this boss fight, he's saying heroism is always rewarded. The country remembers its heroes and all this. It seems like he was trying to encourage us to fight the general here. Ah, it's turning into leaves. Ah, damn it. Rather gentle, thank you. Damn it. But, yeah, it seems like he is pushing us onward. But why? So, like, there's people up in the mountains to guard a chest. Was this camp part of their thing, or was that just an incidental... Like, the place is ravaged by battlefields. I'm sure there's plenty of, like, rando camps in mountains that have suddenly become the, you know, had a battle go on nearby, you know? If the place is like completely ravaged by war, you can have all the hidden bases you want dotted around the place, you know? Eventually there's gonna be a battle on your doorstep. If the place is completely like ravaged by war, you know? There's gonna be like, hey, here's a bit we didn't despoil, let's fight over there. So, or is this the camp for the soldiers? Okay, we can do that. It's one thing to note is that the block in this is imperfect. It's not like non-hard mode Sekiro where you can block hits. In Sekiro, if you block a hit, you don't take damage, but your posture does. In this, you take damage through your block. Probably you take reduced damage through your block, and then you can heal by hitting. Which which is something I need to get used to, basically. Simply put. One, two. Had to stop. Had a really good set last time. Didn't stop at all. Sadly, already stopped once now. Tends to mean I'll end up having to stop again in a moment. Shoot it up. Might be able to jump it, but I wouldn't risk it. Might be one more. Ow. Eat shit. Damn it. Thought it would have counted as a dodge. Yeah, it's one issue is that you can block it, but if it's not a perfect block, so parry, you take damage and can die. So one issue with the system. And if you're coming from something like Sekiro, which it's been quite a few months since I bet that, but I think I did that back in August. Hold on. Jesus, but my nail just broke. And now I haven't been well as of late. It's just one of the many effects I'm getting. But my nail just like hang nailed off. But yeah, some of the instincts are still there. Keep going to shift. Damn it. Should have Mercuried it. The slow regen of my stamina afterwards. Sorry, this is annoying me. Just nail randomly decided it start flaking off, a chunk of it. Oh, sliver of it. Need but a moment. Slowly amble to the side and you'll dodge. Oh no, not the air by my head. It's on my throat. Remember how the game controlled there for a second. Damn it. Dead. I have a tendency of dodging to the right, which does not work with that move. There. The flake off my thumbnail all gone. I have the rhythm down here, and it's a rather simple rhythm. He's well telegraphed, so it's not a surprise. The beast arm just kind of comes out. One, two. But yeah, it's well telegraphed. It's pretty approachable. But the phase 2 stuff just kind of happens a lot quicker. Like, that's messier, that combo there. But this arm, just like, it's there, suddenly attack. It's a bit harder to counter. Yeah, those guys are nice, easy to deal with. Stop sending Scudder at me. Scudder's an Irishy word, ain't it? Not as in it's in Irish, but the local parlance, you know, in English. Didn't take damage there. Oh, fuck you. You have the decency to take damage from that. God damn it. I got closer. At the very least, I got closer. And hopefully he is only a 2-stage tank. But Scudder, yeah, that's a diarrhea. For those who don't know, diarrhea. Those wet muck men just kind of like have a... their death sounds just kind of... oh no, scuttery. So we've had... ow. So we've had, like dark Arthurian stuff, like Corrupted Camelot, where you've had a undead Roman legion led by Demon Nero, or commanded by Demon Nero, with demonic Emperor Nero, I believe. And now we have, what? Napoleon the Lich? Alright. I look forward to Vampire Nobunaga. I remember seeing one manga floating around where honestly in one scene he just ended up looking like, you know, what would have been Nobunaga's title. Basically, he looked less like Nobunaga, more like goddamn Freddie Mercury. Which is an interesting image. Remember people before saying that, like, they had some joke going on about, like, Freddie Mercury dressed up in military uniform, and same with Michael Jackson. Like, they could have been, you know. Huh? One. I know, it's just like, they had the charisma, they had the command, they had the aesthetic to be, like, military, you know, leaders, you know. Having their own warband, or military country. I don't know. I don't remember the full joke. I'm sure I've given you enough to find it out yourself, but, yeah. Yep, that took damage. Sorry, there's a moth in here. Oh, well, folks, and I'm back. Fuck moths. My whole mental tempo was wrong there. I hate moths. I hate moths. If you don't know why I have such contempt for moths, it's simple. They're disgusting blighters. We have a plunger in the bathroom. I've seen moths hovering around it. We have a puppy pad down. I've called it before an incontinency pad. I've seen moths. We've had 3 dogs with bockety legs, arthritis, problems holding it, and I've seen moths. So we have pads down for them, and I've seen moths hovering by them. The dog may have just piddled on them, may have just pooped on them, and we're about to clean it up, and I've seen moths flittering around them. You know, they land on the floor. They land on they'll land on dirty things. You know. And then they'll flitter around and land anywhere the fuck else. They're disgusting. They're no different to flies. They're dumber in some ways. One mob was trying to fly in my face when I was coming downstairs once. Blew it away from me 3-4 times. And they kept trying to rush from my face. Each time. Unending annoyance. Yeah, it feels like my tempo's really gone. Part of the issue with phase 2 is the mixing in hits you must dodge. Because I've really centered into the idea of just blocking and trying to parry everything here. Damn it. Un momento, por favor. Damn it. Just focus on this. This kind of build will get nicer when I can have an extra slot, because then I could have passive regen going. I could have, you know, there's some synergies. Well, we interrupted that attack. I'll also get more relics anyway, so there is bound to be something that will synergize with it, you know? Or further the upgrade tree. Hey, I dodged that. God damn it. Having the level capped here is meaning I can never just like, you know, out-level the enemy. This is as strong as I can ever get. It's entirely just a skill thing. And I'll be honest, I am not fine with that. There we go. Jesus. It's got reach. You're dead. I'm just making poor choices. Give you a mastectomy. Stay still. There, now you look like Angelina Jolie. I kind of missed the give and take of Sekiro. Well, you would attack, they would attack. If you both attacked, it would turn into a parry. This game just isn't Sekiro. I'm not complaining that, well, this isn't something I'm levying against the game. The game is what the game is, you know? I feel the same way when I'm playing Elden Ring. It's just like, this feels so wrong. I haven't played much of Elden Ring for that very reason. It just doesn't feel right, you know? I've played too much Sekiro. I 100%ed it. I didn't do the, I tried the gauntlets, but I didn't complete them. I didn't fulfill any of them. I was hoping to come back when I was better geared, when I had full upgrades and whatnot, but you're capped out well before then, and I saw it in a Inner Genichiro, and it was just like, ugh, no. Because, look, Sekiro's the biggest fucking hype man for his enemies. The biggest fucking hype man. Yeah, if you don't know, there's these gauntlets you can unlock when you beat in the game the first time. And you unlock more gauntlets for the different endings you've completed. And you fight a selection of bosses from those routes. And you'll fight Inner Genichiro, Inner Father, Inner Ishin. And you fight them as they never were. Like, they'll have abilities that they don't otherwise have. This is... like, imagine someone's a fanboy for particular character and waxes about how great and awesome they are, but they never showed any of those powers at all in the show. That's what Sekiro does for those characters, to make them even harder of an enemy to fight against. And it's fucking rough. I tried the Inner Genichiro once. It's so rough that normally you can only fight bosses in like a practice mode after you've killed them once, as hey, if you want to do it again, here you can. When you go to fight Inner Genichiro, you can do it separate to the gauntlet without killing him. Just meeting him is enough to unlock it. That's how rough he is. Not that bad. Screwed. And he's down. Wow. Kneeling. Damn it. I can survive it. And then he gently puts me back down. Much obliged. Ah, damn it. I was trying not to fire because it was just like... I felt like if I engaged with my sword, it was not going to go well. So it's like, yeah, the only other option I have is either weak pot shots with the pistol, or fire. And I know fire can do better damage. Wow. Ow. The fire is an interesting idea. I just don't know when I would have the opening to let loose with it. Like, I'm just thinking phase 2. Maybe when he does the... I just have to have it open and see. Oh, the bolts lying around. I'm starting to wonder if I can't just do, I can't just chill here and, yeah, with all the bolts lying around, I can't help but wonder if I could just stay back and keep shooting them. For phase 2. See, plenty of bullets around the place. Awesome. Now that won't do any posture damage. Sorry, my mouse is starting to act up. Stray hair on my sticking out from under my keyboard. Spooked the hell out of me. But now that's not going to do any posture damage, but it's going to wear down its health, and that's a benefit. Ow. Okay. That was a bit clumsy. Does shooting him do posture damage? About as much as a swing? No. It shows like swing level. But that damage, it just highlights and that's it. Abomination eradicated. Reward 20,000 catalysts. Valor Mortis. Thank you for playing. Add to Steam wishlist. Oh, good survey. So, Valor Mortis. I've enjoyed it. It's fun. It's clearly in pre-alpha, so it's hard to really critique it or offer much commentary because it's a pre-alpha demo. It feels uncouth too. It shows promise. It shows it like it seems to be something I'll be interested in playing. It shows promise. So it shows something that I'll be interested in playing, but there was a bit of a graphical issue I was facing at one point that did make me feel nauseous. Towards the end there, it seemed better. I just had it on the wrong settings. There was like a judder there too, but again, it just seemed to be a settings issue. Um, that one NPC you meet, his commentary seemed a bit weird. But then again, that may just fit. Like, look, it's, the Soulsborne games where everyone just has a demented laugh. It's just like, yeah, the guy's a little kooky. That's all there is to it. It's not that the lines are weird; he's weird. But or maybe it was just me when I was hearing it. It just sometimes you may say something perfectly sensible, but or understandable. Mine just doesn't grok it. So yeah, no relation to the AI. That's a phrase I said before that. Okay, I'm back. So, hmm, what what do I want to say? Um, I like Valor Mortis. I went on a little tangent there about something else and completely threw off my train of thought. And there's some background noise, so that's distracting me too. What do I want to say? Um, basically, I like Valor Mortis. It has my interest, but it hasn't quite grabbed my attention like other games have. Um, it's probably like I'm very much a story person, and so when a demo doesn't have much in the way of story, it's harder for it to grab my attention. I'm very much a story person. And you may wonder how I enjoy the Dark Souls games if I'm that much a story person. There's plenty little like you pick up a new item, you get a little flavor text. There's plenty little stuff to pick up on and try and piece together. It's a puzzle and gets my mind racing. Here there's a few notes and that's it. It's just a charnel pit of a battle sign. Um, Seems to be bodies of two different factions. Uh, Napoleon's Eternal Guard and someone else, and the guards have no idea what they're guarding. They're just to die for it, and potentially whatever they're guarding is bringing them back and mutating. And there's also a strange doctor on the scene making potions. Some potions of which we already have. How we got 3 of them to be start with, I have no idea. But I do welcome it. Why we also have Napoleon's personal attention as opposed to anyone else is another question. So, like there's bits of story to it, but there isn't really much to, gnaw my teeth on. So it doesn't really grab me in that way. So it could simply be the story side. That's why it's not pulling me in, because there's nothing for me to hook onto right now. When the full thing comes out and actually play it, that could be a different matter. And like I said, like it doesn't need much. Serious Sam 3. That's one of my highly rated, video games. I love that game, and you wouldn't call it, it's no work of Tolkien. There was just enough to pull me along and fun enough gameplay to, enjoy. So, yeah. Basically, like, the combat's fun enough. The setting seems interesting enough, but it's in pre-alpha demo. There's some flaws with it. Seems like it was just my graphical settings being poor choices, but beyond that, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I've been having difficulty focusing. I've been getting a lot of dizzy spells lately, absent-minded, the like. Just been trying to power through it. I keep forgetting to call the doc. 2 weeks running now. 3. There's always something else going on. But, Mortis. Yeah, I think it's largely probably the story side of things. Like, there just isn't much to hook onto here so far, There's no notes. There's only like 2 notes. Some little echoes of past conversations, but nothing really to hook me into the world and the setting, There's just not enough meat there. So I find it an interesting game, an interesting setting. Mechanically, it's perfectly serviceable. It's fine. I like it, but it's not grabbing me, and it's probably solely over the story side of things. Um, like I want to say, the Fall of Camelot grabbed me and pulled me in more, because that was a hell of a meaty demo. Went on for many hours, and I got like 20 odd like reading videos out of it. It's ridiculous. Um, so I'm gonna have to go back over the first episode and find the two notes in it and separate them out into reading videos. I feel like a bit of a bastard doing that, but at the same time, it's just like, so many people skip notes. This is my little effort to be like, read, motherfucker. Let me read them to you. You know? That's why I do it. So, um... so yeah, basically, Valor Mortis does have my attention. It seems like an interesting game. It seems fun. I would certainly come back and play more. It hasn't really grabbed me like other games have, but it's probably because, well, it's a pre-alpha demo. It's pretty light on story, and that the genre is light on it to begin with. But in Demon's Souls and Dark Souls, you would have gotten a little bit more at this point. Like the different items you would pick up would have a bit of flavor text on them. The like different bits of gear, the boss soul, you would have a bit of flavor, a bit more to sink your teeth into. Maybe not much, but you would have a bit more. And then you also still have the rest of the game to go with. It's, they aren't exactly pre-alpha demos. So basically, simply put, I like it. I'll certainly come back to play it, but it's not grabbing me like other games have, because, well, given that it's pre-alpha demo, it's light on story. So, and that ends up being a sticking point for me. Like, mechanically, like, there's another demo I played that was light on story, Wizard Room. It was a wizard-themed boomer shooter. It was a perfectly fun game, perfectly serviceable, but there was absolutely no story to it, and it just did not hold my interest. It was perfectly serviceable, perfectly fine, but it just didn't hold my interest. There was no context to anything I was doing, and that makes it meaningless to me. Doom 1 and 2, dry. There's a little bit of story at the end of each episode, and that's it. A little bit of story at the end of each one. Maybe there's a bit at the start, I honestly don't remember, but it was dry. So it just did not do it for me. Those games are perfectly fine games, but they just didn't do it for me. There's no... There needs to be more for me. It's just... Yeah, just as it was not new enough. So, yeah, I think I've said everything I need to say. Graphically, the game looks nice. I was having some graphical issues, but I think it was my settings. It seems like an interesting concept. Like, mechanically, it's done well so far. I didn't notice anything egregiously wrong with it. The ledge climbing, that was a bit annoying because of how many ledges there were, and just how much it just brings movement to a stop, each time, and you can't skip the ledge. Even if it looks like you can jump it, he will latch on and climb it. So you can't even just try and speed things up or keep the momentum going. You have to climb it. And it just slows things down. Maybe I'm wrong in the idea of being able to jump it, but it just slows things down. And it makes sense, like, you're climbing a ledge, it's going to, but it just made, like, the run back more tedious and having to stop to climb. So, and maybe I'm just being impatient, but yeah. So there's that. Like, basically what's here is a perfectly serviceable pre-alpha demo. The lack of story makes sense, but it does make it hard for me to get into the thing and really get sucked in, because there's nothing for me to sink my teeth into. But as long as the main game actually does, flesh things out, then this is going to be a fair purchase. Just going from what I'm seeing here, you know. As long as they actually do something on the story side and actually give me something to sink my teeth into, I'll be well happy when I eventually get around to Valor. I was going to say Victor, Valor Mortis. Like I have Elden Ring to finish. I think there's like there's 4 ends that give achievements, but one end, the Elden Ring, Elden Lord end, has like 3 variants. Well, I want to do all 3 variants, so there's like 6, 7 ends to Elden Ring, and I've already done the Ranni route, but I want to do Ranni's route again. So that means I'm going to be doing 8 runs of Elden Ring. I also want to do the DLC. And then after that, well, there is the Night Rain game that I should get onto while people are still playing it. And after Night Rain, though I'm not sure if I'll be as quite stubborn on its account as I was on the other games. I also want to get onto those Souls-likes. I have 3. Code Vein, NIOH 1 and 2. Nioh? I'm not sure. The hoes that say Ni. But, no, it's OH, ain't it? Nioh? Nioh? I don't know. But, Nioh 1, Nioh 2. I'm saying it again wrong. Probably didn't say it right in the first place. I have those 3 floating around on my PC. Well, on my Steam account. So I want to get onto them. I've had them there for many years at this point. So I think since I bought, since I dealt with Demon Souls 1. Oh, sorry, since I dealt with Demon Souls, which was 2024. So early 2024, I had. Actually, some of those are older than that. I'm not sure when. But yeah, basically, I want to go finish Elden Ring, and I do want to do Night Rain. But I may not be as stubborn on that account. I may mix Night Rain with one of those Souls-likes. And like, oh, I'm playing some Night Rain today. And then, I have a set of that, and you get some episodes of that. Then I'll do a sets of the other thing, and, bounce between them as I feel like it. But, we'll see what happens when I get to it. I may never play it. Who knows? But this, basically, this has my interest. It will certainly be something I come and play, but it will be down the line. There's other things I need to do first. A ton of Elden Ring, and then 3 other Souls-likes. Will I be 100%ing them like the FromSoft games? I have no idea. It'll depend how much I like them. I kind of decided to 100% the FromSoft games on a whim. I have no idea how much I like these games, so 100%ing them is is something that I'll decide on later. Much like the FromSoft games, I don't think 100%ing them was an issue on the cars. I think that's something that came around down the line. There's also, I want to try out mods for the Dark Souls games, so that's another thing on the docket. There's some mods that have really caught my interest, like Arch Thrones. It's Dark Souls 3, but leaning more into Dark Souls 2. So you get to see zones from Dark Souls 2, like Hades Tower of Flame. But it's also leaning into Demon Souls. So you go to the different thrones and you get warped to the areas of the world owned by those lords. So it's an interesting idea. I find it interesting. There's other ones, Dark Souls Nightfall. I remember that name sticking in my head. There's others that have caught my interest, though I don't know how development on any of them are going. Well, I remember one person claiming they were going to make an Elden Ring. Remember Shadow of Mordor with the Nemesis system? Yeah, they were going to do that, but set during the Shattering. A fascinating idea. But, no idea what's going on there. So, need to, need to look into it, but there's plenty of time before it's even relevant to me, given that I've still have those games to beat, you know? Still have to beat Elden Ring before I can move on to other stuff. So, anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed Valor Mortis. I hope I've been coherent here. Basically, the game has my interest. I think this was a perfectly serviceable pre-alpha demo. Gives you a good idea of the setting, of the vibe of the world and the mechanics of the game. But it is story light. Not enough for me to really sink my teeth into or to get too hyped about. But it makes sense for a pre-alpha demo. They're not going to have that here. It's just the reality of it, and that's fine. But it does limit my enthusiasm for the game, as I'm very much a story person. A lot of people go on about how story is secondary at best, and you don't really need it. But those people are up their own ass and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, seriously. So, I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you join me again soon. If there's anything at all you'd like to tell me, please let me know in the comment section below. But I would suggest leaving a timestamp. With enough context in what you write, I may not need it, but, or how promptly you post it, perhaps. But, mind drifted, sorry. Or if you post it promptly enough, I might need it, but, I very well might. Just so I know what you're referring to. I've had comments go up and it's just like, what the hell are they referring to? Fuck. And they just try and bullshit something out and hope it makes sense. Because I didn't have a clue. But, yeah. I hope you've enjoyed, folks, and I hope you join me again soon. Basically, I will be coming back to some point, but there's plenty of other things on the list. And I'm being slow in dealing with the list, and I've also been slow in getting it out to you, getting out what's already dealt with. I do apologize for that. But there's some bonus footage I've been wanting to work on, and I keep forgetting to work on it. Or then I'm sick, and something gets in the way, and I've been rather sickly this year. I know. I got sick in December, January, and it feels like body atrophied then. And so I've just been weaker since. And in just the right way to inhibit what I want to do. It's frustrating. But anyway, I'm just ranting and raving here. I do hope you've enjoyed. Jesus, 17 minutes it is? Fucking hell. Till then, folks.